What exactly do wedding stylists do?
If you need a curated wardrobe for anybody, you need a wedding stylist or aka a bridal stylist.
What is the whole process?
So from the minute you place the order, you don't have to think about the outfit at all.
One trend that you're absolutely loving in the bridal fashion scene.
Opting for 3 dupattas rather than just one.
How do you avoid everyone looking matchy-matchy and at the same time ensure that the family portrait looks like timeless?
Yes, family portraits is very important. So if whoever's watching this, please give your photographer enough time for family portraits because that is something you will cherish.
Are you a stylist who would prefer comfort over drama?
Drama.
Color of the season?
Anything.
Hey guys, so we have Meha Bhargava from Styling with us. She's one of the best wedding stylists I've come across. So Meha has been doing it since quite a while now, about 7-8 years. I personally know maybe before that as well. And recently she was in Spain. She does all these fancy weddings and does crazy styling work with not only the bride, also the family, right? So Meha, thank you so much for being here. And so Meha, I would love to know, what exactly do wedding stylists do?
I think it's in the name, wedding styling. So styling for your wedding. So you could be the bride, you could be the groom, or you could be the family. If you need a curated wardrobe for anybody, you need a wedding stylist or aka a bridal stylist.
So how early should a bride get a stylist on board?
As early as possible. My saying goes, the minute you say yes to your fiance, you have to say yes to us. So you need a bridal stylist as soon as you say yes to the ring.
So what is the whole process? Like, what will be the process of from getting a stylist to, tell me the complete process of how it works.
You probably need another podcast for just this question. It's a lengthy process, but it is something which, it's like a journey because you tend to start planning your wedding 12 months in advance. And that's precisely what timeline I might need as well. So right from understanding where you're coming from, as far as culture, tradition, personality, your body, form, shape, the colors that you prefer or gravitate towards, all of that needs to be documented before you even start planning your shopping. What events you have, what themes that you might have. So if you don't have all of that prior, like 12 months in advance, you don't have all of that, then of course we come and take precedence which says, okay, this is the outfit that we have, turn your theme around towards it. We have to really research before we actually start shopping. And there are 2 ways of, shopping with us. You can either virtually shop with us, sitting anywhere in the world, and we are shopping for you here in Delhi, or you could personally fly down to India and we will shop for you. So first the research has to be done, and then only then we get into the whole world of shopping, designers, stores, all of that. So yeah, you shop and then you place orders, measurements, all of that. So everything is very technically done, quality checks, and then only then, the outfit is shipped to you or wherever you are. So for fittings, etc. So very lengthy, but very interesting, exhausting journey.
That sounds really fun. Okay, from what you said, there's one thing which I always wanted to know, and honestly, a lot of my clients also struggle with that particular thing, is online body fit checks. All right. So do you think online fit checks work well, or do you highly recommend the client flying over and then getting their measurements and checks finally done?
I think wedding shopping is a very personal process. In my opinion, you should, if you have the luxury and the privilege, you should come to India to shop yourself personally. But if you don't, you could be really busy in your life, or maybe you can't take the time off at all. So virtual shopping with us is as real as it gets. We take you with us into the stores, and measurement is something I do personally. So it's a very lengthy 1-hour process where, you're sitting or standing in front of me, I'm on the other side, and we measure inch by inch, so that, nothing is goofing up. And thankfully, 99% of the time I'm equipped in taking the right measurements. So it fits, it really does. But you have to have a professional on the other side taking that for you.
Nice. So what are the myths or the misconceptions that brides or families have about wedding stylists? Yes.
When I started, I think way back in 2017 or 18, I don't remember which. So wedding styling as a concept is something that we coined. We bought into the picture because bridal stylist existed, but bridal styling means just for the bride. Wedding styling means that you're doing it for the bride, groom, anybody else in the family. So it really is like a wholesome styling thing. So initially we had this whole misconception of being either a planner or worst, a designer, so you're selling clothes or you're making clothes. No, we're not. So that was a misconception back then. But I think over the years, with so many, brides and weddings that we've done under the belt, word of mouth, people have, grown the whole thing of, okay, wedding styling is what is something that we need, or so not much anymore. But yeah, initially it was a huge gap or a communication issue of what you actually do.
Do you build a bridal wardrobe based on her personality or based on what's going on, what's trending?
Personality, 100%. So you would know. 10 years down the line, if you see your wedding pictures and something that you wore trendy, which was back then trendy 10 years ago, and you're just like, damn, what am I wearing? So there's a bridge that, trends don't build. So if it's a personality driven wardrobe, you will cherish it for the, years to come, as well as the outfits.
There are two brides. Okay, what I've also read. There's a red bride, there's a red lehenga bride, and there's a pastel bride or a non-red lehenga bride.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your take on it? Because this is a never-ending debate.
It's a never-ending. I feel like every bride is different. Every bride is different. Everybody has their own vision. I think brides within Indian culture have been brought up with a whole, thing about what kind of bride will I be, So from a very young age, they all know what they want. It really goes, the journey that they have, everything just changes, and then suddenly they're like, no bride, no reds, so break the traditional, break the rules, all of that. So it really comes down to where you're getting married, who you're getting married to, and what style of wedding you're going to have. So red, no red, it really doesn't matter.
So I've also seen a lot of transition of brides from, what they used to wear 10 years back and what they're wearing now. Do you think the new age brides have become much more experimental and bolder?
Absolutely. I think nowadays with the bride, with the exposure that they have with social media, thankfully, they don't want to be cookie cutter. So no yellow for haldi, no red for wedding, no colorful for sangeet. So they're breaking the molds and they're wanting to experiment. And it's good because it's your day. Why would anyone else dictate as to what you should be wearing, So I think they're now just breaking the mold and be like, this is my wedding. I will do whatever I want to do.
So how do you balance what a bride wants versus what suit her?
Yeah. Well, initially in our research phase, it's a very exhaustive process where I ask a lot of questions like, as far as your personality is concerned, like what do you like? What is the wedding you have envisioned? Beach wedding, mountainside wedding, lakeside wedding. What do you have in mind? What is the weather going to be like? Are you a comfort oriented bride or a drama bride? So all of that, you have to have a lot of questions following up to, a decision. And then of course, with the vision board that we have, we let the brides send us pictures that this is the vision that I have. And then we trump it up with saying, okay, this is what we can do or we can offer as a stylist with a, whole cutting edge sort of insight into, okay, this is what is working right now. And maybe we can, use your vision, combine it with our vision and make something magical happen. So yeah.
Exactly. Coming to the same thing, like extending to what you said, what do you think is a bride's dream look and how important becomes a bridal portraits?
Two different questions. Bridal look, we come up with it. Like we as your stylist, you as the bride, and the designer, of course. We come up with the whole culmination of it. Whether you want a huge trail, a huge veil, all of that. I mean, it really comes to forming a bridal look. And as far as bridal portraits are concerned, I really hope that a lot of brides stress upon the fact that they need bridal portraits, because honestly, that is an epitome of the bridal look. You should have time. You should give your photographer enough time for bridal portraits. And for us as a stylist to tell you that, okay, she has a huge veil or she has a customizable veil, so incorporate all of that in your bridal portrait. So Two different questions, but I think I answered both.
The kind of photos the bride aspires to have. Okay.
Yeah.
Does the styling change with that?
I think it stems exactly from the research stage, because all of these questions are mundane to have when you have an outfit. So when it's research, we already know what aesthetics you're looking for, what outfits you're looking for. If you are shooting at, let's just say, a hilltop of Malta, you know that, okay, there'll be wind, there'll be these colors, this weather, all of that. So a typical color like a red may not work. Something has to be, a little more blended, or maybe if you're dramatic, then of course you need a bolder, brighter color. So all of this comes down to, how the photographer will capture that aesthetic. So yes, it's really important that we understand the aesthetics. It is important for the bride to choose a photographer who can follow those aesthetics. And of course, for us to incorporate everything while we are doing our shopping. So I think the research stage is where we sort of answer all of these questions or address all of these questions.
So talking about styling the families now. Yeah. Okay. In a wedding, there are a lot of people. Okay.
Yes.
Mom, dad, brother, sister, the entire jing bang.
Yes.
It's in weddings, it's like not the bride and groom getting married, it's the families getting married, right?
Absolutely.
How do you tackle situations where everybody in the family has different opinions?
While we're doing bridal shopping or groom shopping, I say keep your wedding party small. Your wedding stylist's opinion has to be the loudest, because that's why you've hired them. And I make myself heard, so be it the bride's sister, mother, mother-in-law, you can get the whole jing bang. It's only going to make your process difficult. It's only going to confuse you further. But I think keep your wedding party small is the only advice that I can give brides who are actually going to shop with their in-laws, their family, everything. So yes, keep one voice in your ear all the time. And that's when you make decisions. Otherwise, don't bother getting the whole jing bang.
How do you avoid everyone looking matchy-matchy and at the same time ensure that the family portrait looks like timeless?
Yes, family portraits, is very important. So if whoever's watching this, please give your photographer enough time for family portraits, because that is something you will cherish.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
But coming back to your question, we design color palettes. I am very particular about how the whole family looks. If you hire me for the rest of the family, and even if you haven't, I go ahead and still plan color palettes, because I really like cohesive looking looks. You can't be like a pastel bride with your mother wearing orange or a bright red or something like that. It's really not going to work. But my color palettes are always set, be it wedding or any other family event. I don't like other family events to be matchy-matchy, but I do like the wedding to be like the main thing. So color palettes, for sure. You have to have color palettes. And for us, we divide it into the bride side, groom side, parents of the groom, parents of the bride. So all of them have different color palettes. Bridesmaids, groomsmen. Thankfully, the color wheel is so giving that there's so many colors that you can play with.
Okay, random question. Color of the season.
Anything. Don't get stuck on Pantone colors. Don't get stuck on any particular color. One color that looks good on you, reflects really nicely on you, that's your color.
Do you think what styling the bride has done, the decor should be in sync? Do you get in touch with the decor team as well, or how does it work?
No, I think with our industry, you would know stepping on anybody else's toes is not something you should be doing. But yes, we let the bride know that, okay, you've chosen a tropical theme. Your outfit screams tropical. Your outfit's green, let's just say that. Your decor can't be green. Your decor can't be blue. You can't look like a peacock in a rainforest. So it has to be a contrast. So this is something we keep having a discussion when we are shopping, like very casual, talking through it. And I'm sure brides pick that up. So it's imperative for me to keep talking about it. But yeah, we don't get into the nitty-gritties of things now.
What is the biggest styling mistake that families are making these days in weddings?
Shopping late. That's the biggest thing. So what parents do is dekh lenge, that approach. Let the bride shop, let the groom shop. We'll come secondary. We'll do it when it's necessary. And then the whole hustle bustle starts that, okay, Meha, can you get me an outfit? Can you do this in a month? So then you're just like, why? I'm pushing you to make a choice. Why aren't you doing it then? So the whole thing of, being a little more sacrificing, we like, let the bride handle or let the bride do her thing. We'll do it, dekh lenge, so that is a mistake I feel the parents of the family are definitely doing.
So for you as a stylist, what comes first, the lehenga or the jewelry?
Anything. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So you could have your heirloom pieces or jewelry. I need to see those first before we plan the whole look. And sometimes people do come with heirloom jewelry, which are gold, but their vision is very modern. So I am very upfront and say, okay, this is not going to work. We'll have to look for a plan B, or maybe we can look for another, traditional outfit or a traditional event where you can pair this heirloom jewelry, but don't, ruin the outfit.
You literally answered my next question, because my next question was, how do you deal styling sentimental pieces in, which are not trending?
Yeah. No, it's jewelry is timeless. I feel if it's done nicely and those heirloom pieces, like really old pieces, they can be redesigned. So that's one option that you have. And the second one is that, you can use it for other events. A neck piece can be easily, used as a bun accessory or a hair accessory, or, it can be also used as a waist belt. So you can redo or rethink everything that's doable. And especially in our country, anything is doable. We can make things happen.
Okay, so for any new age practical bride who doesn't want to invest in like really expensive jewelry, what would you recommend?
See, I deal with international brides across the globe. So that trend of having fine jewelry for them doesn't make sense. So, there is this whole new generation of, semi-precious jewelers or semi-precious jewelry, which is 1/5 the cost of the actual, fine jewelry. So there are brands like Pura Pascha and Rapta by Rahul or Work, so they are doing a splendid job. It looks like the real deal. So why would you even invest in something? Now, of course, that's a different thing. Heirloom pieces, handing it over to generation after generation. But I think in this day and age, really, do you need so much? And then they're also customizable. With 3 chains, you can remove 1 chain, you can wear 2 or something like that. So it's very, how do I say, sustainable that way.
Perfect.
Seamless. I haven't even used.
Yeah, even I haven't. Okay, come, let's get a sip. That's nice.
Oh, we need. Oh, yeah. Of course. Let's try this. I haven't tried this before.
Oh yeah, this is non-alcoholic. Yeah. I was actually off alcohol for 2 years, so this was
2 years.
Yeah. Cheers. Do you think you need a stylist on ground while your wedding is happening or while your events are happening?
I think it's a very brilliant question, and I think I've just understood the meaning of on-site, or the reason why we should be on-site. Because see, we've been with you throughout the shopping process. We were there when the whole idea started that you need to start your wedding shopping or how you want to go about it. We've sort of given you the outfits. We've given you references of how your hair and makeup should be, how your draping should be. But seldom happens that anybody at the wedding will even abide by it. Like the makeup artist, if has not spoken to you enough, or the hairstylist not spoken to you enough, or haven't thought of the whole look together with your stylist, everything will fall flat regardless. And especially with international weddings or destination weddings for that matter, you really need to know what vision your stylist gave you and what your makeup artist is going to do. Or maybe even your drape artist for that matter is going to do. So it's very important for a stylist to be there. Because to be honest, no one's there to see you. You are sitting on the chair, but, and people are putting things on you, but who's actually seeing you? Your mother or your sister, everyone's very preoccupied, everything's happening. It's like a high, pressure situation, your wedding and everything, but no one's actually seeing you apart from yourself, So once you see yourself 3 hours down the line, you're just like, now what's the point of getting things changed? Let's just go. Let's just rush to the mandap or let's just rush to the event. But your stylist is there seeing every step of the way. Your makeup's blended or not. Your draping is done to perfection or not. You know how brides want to look slimmer from a certain angle or this and that. We make sure that you're looking slim or put together from every angle for that matter, and even for boys, even for the grooms, one hook here and there and everything, just the outfit just looks incomplete, so a stylist is there to just see you, coordinate everybody around you, coordinate the vendors around you, but eventually just see you.
That is true because, we as a photographer as well, sometimes we are given like 5 minutes ki, fatafat shoot karo. Then sometimes we don't have the mind ki styling kaisi hai. We just want to take those shots, but if the stylist say, she'll quickly step in, do the things, come back.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that. One stylist was there at the wedding and she quickly came in, did tick, 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 tick. And I'm like, and I could see the difference because sometimes we are also in a hurry to, sometimes we're given 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Wedding is madness.
True. And when you're talking about pictures, you need to sit in a certain fashion where, your legs are in a certain slant that the lehenga just flares through. Postures, poses.
That we do, no?
हाँ, तो you do that. But
that for photographer नहीं क्यों आ रहा है? Posture poses बताए अलग पड़ी stylist.
यहाँ से हवा जा रही है, यहाँ से
नहीं posture poses हम पूरा देखते हैं. हमें बस होता है कभी-कभी ठीक है, like the chain is not straight or sometimes we don't get into details that the earrings are not tilted or पीछे
pins कितने दिख रहे हैं. There's so many safety pins just because. Yeah. I mean, why do you need so much? If it's nicely aesthetically draped, you basically just need 3 or 4 pins max.
Right. So, there are so many things like deliveries, fittings, trials, measurements.
Yes.
How do you manage? What system do you follow?
One is I have a huge team. I am so thankful and grateful that I have a team of like-minded stylists that follow my lead to the T. Then I run a tight ship. So from the minute you place the order, you don't have to think about the outfit at all. So we take care of all the decisions that need to be made. If something happens or some debacle happens, so to speak, the designer speaks to us, not the bride. So we take the stress, so to speak. And if the bride's involvement is required, then I'll ask her. Otherwise, everything is just seamlessly done. So they just think that, okay, सब कुछ हो गया, आराम से हो गया. So we are the ones who are taking care of the stress. So be it double measurements. So we do the measurements before you are giving the outfit. Then I take another measurement before the alterations need to be done. Or maybe, if you're not coming, then I'll probably remeasure you again. So everything is very systematic with me. I'm very OCD as a person in general. So the whole organization is very OCD now. Everything is documented, Excel sheets. And now you'll think, why does a stylist need an Excel sheet? But everything is documented with us.
So tell me about a fashion emergency moment and where you save the day.
I think we save the day pretty much every day. We make decisions for you that you don't even know or could have thought about, so we do that any which way. But fashion emergencies, I don't think it seldom happens because running a tight ship and being so efficient and organized, it really never happens that we've goofed up somewhere or, something went wrong. But yeah, I think, I'm grateful that I don't think I've had a fashion emergency ever.
So how do you deal with last minute changes and last minute indecisions and last minute delays?
Well, I think you're a bride. You are allowed to be indecisive. You really are. I mean, it's forgiven. It's all right. But once you've gone through the whole process, it is, I leave very little room for error in terms of, decision making. So research is very foolproof. You yourself have come up to the decision that, okay, this is what we need, and then we make it happen for you. So indecisiveness comes with factors like, your family saying something or, the groom these days, jumps in and says, okay, this is not what I want you to wear. So that is where indecision comes from. But as a bride, if you think you know your vision, you trust your stylist, there is no room for error. So, yeah.
Give me one recommendation for all the brides who are getting married internationally or getting married in some fancy destination.
Start early. Start early as soon as possible. Don't give us 3 to 4 months. Magic is not going to happen in 3-4 months. So you have to give us time. Give yourself time actually. So if the outfit reaches you a month in advance, good for you. But if it reaches 3 days in advance, it's not good for you or your stress or your anxiety.
Okay, this is a question which I also, how emotionally do you get invested in a bride's journey?
I think I am invested, I won't say emotionally, but I'm invested with each and every of my bridal families. I won't say brides, because bridal families tend to take up most room in your heart. But I think I'm invested pretty much throughout with each one of my brides. Now, my team also does their own brides, which I am unable to do. So they handle them as well. But I tend to do the research phase myself with each and every bride, regardless of my schedule, regardless of how many brides I'm handling. Every bride comes from my heart, so whatever look they have decided for, it's something that I personally get invested in each and every outfit, not just the bridal outfit.
One advice for every single bride looking at this podcast or listening to this podcast for that matter.
We spilled a lot of tea. So I think there's a lot of information out there that you might have to go over. So I guess listen to the whole podcast. It's a journey.
Fair enough. Okay. One trend that you're absolutely loving in the bridal fashion scene.
Tricky. I don't necessarily like trends, but I think opting for 3 dupattas rather than just one. So either your body drape, your veil, then there is another third color playing into the picture. It really gives me a lot of depth of feel, like you would understand.
Interesting.
Here, what I can also do is that, those heirloom saris. So, for instance, your grandmother had your sari, your nanis or your dadis had your sari, and then you can't necessarily cut it open to make a lehenga, or it's not enough to make a lehenga. So, you drape it in a certain fashion that it looks like a part of the lehenga, so that becomes your third dupatta as well. So, it's not necessarily a part of your body or your veil, but it's there, like seamlessly inside your lehenga. So, I really love that, and I think I would probably want to do it with one of my brides pretty soon, but I wish that happens. But yeah, I would love to do that, but that's a trend in my head. I don't know if it's a trend now, but it's a trend in my head.
Oh, that's a great idea. Like, I would love a bride. So a lot of my brides have worn heirloom jewelry and heirloom outfits, and honestly, they are like, as a photographer, filmmaker, it's so much value for me as well. Yeah, it does get the whole charm of wedding.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One trend which is overhyped and needs to fade away.
I think the fixation of all of us with Pantone colors of the season. If it's not your color, why do we need to incorporate it? Certain colors like ice blue. It may not work with everybody. Aishwarya Rai wore it, okay, fine. She had the whole personality, hair, makeup, all of that with her. Ice blue may not work with everybody, yeah. Then certain colors like, your, pomelos. Or pomelos is actually a very nice flattering color. But again, what intensity of oranges shall you take? So that is what your stylist would tell you. But fixation with colors or your colors of the season, nah, let's not.
So according to you, are these international silhouettes like capes, gowns becoming the new norm?
I think it's the other way around. The Pradas or the Kolhapuris, or are the pattas being sold as Scandinavian scarves? I think it's the other way around.
Yeah, I'm loving this trend. The moment Prada came with Kolhapuri, I'm like, damn.
But give us credit for it. I mean, they can't just be like someone's invention. They are Kolhapuris, for God's sake. So I feel that is that. And then with international, like you said, gowns and capes, I think we've been doing this all this while. It's not like inspired or anything. Apna wo lehenga, gown ban jata hai, that becomes a thing. So that's something that we are doing. So it's not international, I feel.
What's your opinion on the well-known designers, the most popular designers versus the lesser-known brands or the lesser-known designers?
I would say established versus the younger generation who's wanting to be up there. For me, it's quality. Whoever's offering me quality, that is worth my price tag. Like, if I need to, justify the cost, if someone's giving me quality, creativity in something which comes from a lesser-known brand or a younger crop, I would advise you to go with that rather than an established designer. So it's either or situation.
Would you recommend your favorite 3 not so popular brands which are doing a great job or which might become the next, big thing?
I feel like it could be controversial, but I feel like every designer is as good as their new collection, their yearly collection. So you could be doing fabulous this time. Even comes with established, like TT would be really amazing right now. Sabya may not be, but then Sabya suddenly just crops up and then TT goes down. So this yo-yo effect keeps happening. But this season, I think A&R by Riya Kapoor, Abhishek Sharma, And for the menswear, I think Jatin and Sarab are doing a fabulous job. So Jatin Malik, Sarab Kanijo, amazing stuff.
Yeah, Jatin is good. I wore Jatin Malik for my wedding, so yeah. Yeah. Are you a stylist who would prefer comfort over drama?
Personally, drama. But for a bride, as a bridal stylist, that's my first question to them. Do you want comfort or do you want drama? So that is something I let the bride handle. But personally, drama as much as OTT as possible.
So, last question.
Yes.
Tell me some styling tricks, which brides won't know.
I think we spilled a lot of beans again. It is time for you to hire us to know what tricks we have in our kitty.
So tell me something. Are grooms also as invested in fashion as brides are?
Absolutely. So even if they're not, when they go through our process, they're very invested. So they come sometimes be like, okay, I just want to be whatever she thinks is right. And then we give them ideas and everything. And they're like, oh, we don't like this. We like that. Oh, maybe we can add this. Oh, maybe we can add that. This one groom, he's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. He came with this whole idea and concept. I want to wear icy blue. Incorporate it anyhow. My whole sherwani can be icy blue or whatever. And the bride's already chosen her ivory outfit. I'm like, where do I get icy blue now? So then what we did was we got Anita Dongre to incorporate a little thread work of icy blue and ivory sherwani. Got the stole to be ivory and the pug to be icy blue as well. So it just seamlessly fit in and he couldn't be happier. I mean, he's one groom of mine, swatch after swatch, and we've curated this entire wardrobe for him. And I'm really happy about this whole wardrobe. But after that, I think most of my grooms, this year, all my grooms have been extremely invested in what they're wearing. Very sure shot understanding of what you want, what they don't want.
I missed out on one interesting question. How much are people adapting towards lab-grown diamonds?
It's somewhere in the middle. It's so either you buy an imitation something which is about 20,000 rupees or maybe even lesser. Your lab-grown is 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. And then you're just thinking that, okay, it's just in the middle somewhere. If imitation or, silver jewelry is 1/5 the cost, lab-grown is, let's just say 3/4 of the cost. And a good one is 3/4 of the cost. And you're just I can buy the whole real thing now. Why should I buy 3/4 of a cost also?
Lab-growns are cheaper. Lab-growns are
good quality.
Good quality.
Rabta, he's selling so expensive stuff. You're just ले ही लेते फिर originally ले लेते. So I see where lab-grown is coming from and the whole pathway to it, but I feel like it's nowhere in the middle. Either you buy imitation and be very, very happy with it. You keep wearing it, थोड़ा सा tarnish होता है, उसको clean करो, ठीक हो जाएगा. Lab-grown is you're seeing inside कि उसका mark है, नहीं है, ये है, वो है. So I don't have a take on it, but I just feel like nobody in my audience per se has ever been very accustomed to lab-grown. No one's come to me saying, I want to buy lab-grown. या एक बार गए थे तो वो 2-3 लाख की चीज थी, 2-3 लाख में तो पूरी वो आ जाएगी ना, पूरा ज्वेलरी आ जाएगा. So that, bridal jewelry में 4-5 pieces, this, that, all of that will come. So yeah, that's
all right.
My take on lab grown.
All right, but thank you so much, Meha. That was quite informative, and thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you for having me.